Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Here in this video I'd like to do a little bit of relabeling of the last couple of days of the chart, just to make it a bit simpler, make it easier to understand. I had another idea of how this can be labeled, so we can look at that. But overall, for me it still looks as if Bitcoin is sort of in the last stages of completing this ending diagonal here in 5 waves, and that we are in the 5th wave. In the 5th wave, we've got a wave A, a wave B, and a wave C, and it looks like that we're in the early stages of that wave C of 5, okay? So that is important to understand. What you need to understand as well, there are various possibilities for Bitcoin at the moment due to the messy price action it produces. So it is not the most reliable chart, as I've repeatedly stated. Yeah, it is a very messy chart. It's actually good that I can still, despite the mess, spot some kind of structure in this chart, but it is an absolute mess. You know, there are much better charts out there, but it is, you know, sort of typical for a crypto winter. So I'm still of the view that Bitcoin should be trading lower. However, I also mentioned in previous video, we need to be open to the idea that if Bitcoin breaks certain levels, which, you know, nobody can guarantee that it won't, if Bitcoin breaks certain levels, then we will see a larger corrective move to the upside, and that would then, well, at least temporarily lead to higher prices. So I'm not ruling this out, which also means that it's not a very reliable chart, because at the moment there is, you know, there are bullish, there are bearish possibilities. My primary one is that we should still trade lower, but if we break above the invalidation points that I'm giving you in this video, then you could see a rally to maybe 21.7, 22k, yeah, and above 22.1k the chart flips, let's say, a degree more bullish on the daily, and we could then rally all the way up to 25k. And if we break the 25k, which is this high here, then, or 25.2k, and hold that, then only then, due to the chart structure, yeah, only then we can really say that the low was in. So it is not very clear here, and it needs a lot of price movement and price action to confirm that the low was in. But hey, let's zoom in. Let's take a look at what Bitcoin is doing here. Let's make the chart a bit simpler. So based on the ending diagonal here, the view, as I said, is that we should still be trading lower. The question is just, you know, does it happen straight away, or do we see a longer, let's say, a longer corrective move to the upside before we come down? And again, a reason why I don't rule this out that we see that is because Ethereum, Aave, there are some coins that are working on breakouts and that are breaking out as we speak, whereas Bitcoin isn't really. But to support these coins, it might be that Bitcoin also moves up, right? So, but it wouldn't be a super bullish move for Bitcoin, I wouldn't say, right? So at the moment, we're still looking here at lower. I would like to simplify this a little bit and then take you through this. So I had another idea how this can be labeled, just to make it a bit easier. So from the most recent low here at nearly 18k, yeah, my view was, and still is, that this here was just a wave A, that this here was a wave B, and we're now in the C wave, in the early stages of a C wave to the downside, which could take us to the lows below June. So that hasn't changed that view. So wave B, yeah, and then already the wave 1, the wave 2, and we could now be in the 3rd wave of that C wave. There will be a 4th and a 5th. Problem is that we haven't really seen the sell-off action that we would want to see. Yesterday we did start to see that. Yeah, I came to assume that this was already the 3rd wave, but then later, yeah, so this was, I think, around the time when the stock market opening happened. Later though, then we saw quite a bounce again to the upside, right? So what is now possible? So in this 3rd wave in white, I would like to relabel here now the 1-2 pattern, because of the price action that occurred, and to make the chart a bit simpler. So I will take 1-2 setup out. So my view is, just do that. My view is this, that at the moment, this can be counted here as a 1, 2, and then here the other 1, 2. So I've basically taken a 1, 1, 2 setup out, and that next we should see a sell-off in a wave 3. Now, is it guaranteed? No, of course not. No, it's a messy price action, but that's definitely a possibility how the market can unfold if certain levels don't get broken. I will tell you which levels these are. And that I will label this wave 1 here as a leading diagonal, basically. Can take you just quickly through how this can be labeled, because there's a lot of people here who want to learn how to label Elliott waves as well. So I would label this as a 1, 2. I will take that off the chart in a minute, but here a 3, then triangle. If you go into the lower time frame, you can count an A, B, C, D, E here, and then the 5th wave down, and then you've got 5 waves down in a wave 1, and then what do we have? We have a wave 2, but as an A, B, C flat pattern. Yeah, the wave B did go below the beginning of the wave A, so it's a flat. If we go above the beginning, above the end of the wave A, it will become an expanded flat, and that high would be at 19,350. Now, as per this labeling, it wouldn't be a problem to go above that level. That can happen. Yeah, so it leaves a bit more space for upside movement. But the level that we, in this scenario, must not break, it would invalidate it, is the $19,700 level, this wave 2 high, because the wave 2 cannot go above the beginning of wave 1, so that would be invalidated. Also, bear in mind, on the way up, we might push higher. We might be constrained here by the 50-day moving average. You can see that yellow line, that is now at $19,630. We will be constrained by this one, possibly, right? But yeah, this is important. What I would like to do as well, take these lines out because the channel lines have now been broken. And so we still have here the lines of that larger descending wedge, out of which you could say we've broken out of. But again, we haven't really seen any strong upside movement. Yeah, so what I'd like to do, I would like to introduce here a base, so-called corrective channel. Yeah, so you combine here the wave B and the wave 2 with each other. That is a corrective channel that you can add to this chart here, and you can see that the chart adheres to it actually. I make them yellow to let them stick out a little bit. And you can see that the price is currently in this channel, and the breakout of the channel would give us a clearer indication of where we're heading. So it could very well be that if we push higher, yeah, again, this is absolutely a possibility. I mean, the next resistance is around 19,350, but nothing telling us we're going to stop there, not in an expanded flat. We can push higher. Could certainly push here to the $19,500 level. That is the corrective channel here, the resistance level. And we can also measure a target for the C wave by taking the length of the wave A. And then we're looking for the 1.618 extension, and that is the 19,370 level. So that's an important level, I would say. 19,370, that is a target for a C wave, absolutely. So that is highly important. And yeah, then check out here the channel. You know, there's lots of resistance levels Bitcoin would need to get through. And if we look at the Fibonacci retracement levels, you get the 61.8% Fib level, a very relevant Fibonacci retracement level at 19,400 as a possible resistance level. So yeah, this is sort of what we're looking at here. Market certainly very indecisive. I wouldn't rule out short-term upside movement in an expanded flat of a wave 2, and really only if we get above 19,700. We would probably have to consider something, well, not necessarily more bullish, but I think what we then have to deal with is we have to think about extending this wave 2 out a little bit, because the move up would not really be clearly bullish. So I think the message here is, you know, we are still in a range. We are still in a range for Bitcoin. Generally, it should trade lower. That's my opinion, because we haven't really broken the June low, and the price action since the June low was actually quite corrective. It was not, let's say, anything impulsive to the upside. Yeah, it's sort of sliding down. It should really trade lower. It would be ideal. I wouldn't rule out upside movement short term, certain levels need to be broken to make that valid. Yeah, we need to wait for a signal here, and we are currently in this channel. As long as we're in the channel, you know, we're following the channel. A breakout of the channel would give us such a breakout signal, and if we do break out and validate here the imminent sell-off scenario, then we could certainly move up to, first of all, 20k, and then the roughly 22k level that I mentioned. Only above that 22.1k level, the chart will flip more bullish. And then we can reach the 25k, but even then, yeah, only if we hold the 25k, I would really say, okay, a low was already in June, and we're not going to make probably another low lower than that in this current, let's say bear market, right, or crypto winter, or at least not in the short term. So yeah, and that is sort of how I see Bitcoin at the moment. It is a very difficult chart to read. It's very choppy price action. It constantly fails to deliver on breakouts. Yeah, you can see it's just sort of trailing, sliding, short pump, that's it, and then it slides again. So it's not really a clear, you wouldn't get really clear trade setups from here. It is choppy. Yeah, there are much better charts out there at the moment. I'm sure this will change at some point, but of course it's worth following Bitcoin to get that idea of what the entire market might be doing due to correlations. Even though there are always coins that decouple from Bitcoin short term, we know that, like with Quant, Matic, yeah, Ethereum decoupled for a while from it, between June and September. Now we're sort of also sliding at the moment on the Ethereum chart, but yeah, we'll keep it. We'll take it step by step. I will of course keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership, and also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. There's additional content on there that you wouldn't find here on YouTube, and you can find the links for those in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.